The Tanzanian government says it is undertaking the biggest ever reforms to its education sector. Over the next few years, it plans to make changes to the country's 44-year-old education law, policy, personnel, infrastructure and working tools. All this to address concerns of local graduates lacking the necessary skills to contribute to the country's economic growth.
We are going to build new universities whose main focus will be on vocational training and which will be skill-based so that graduates are able to create employment opportunities and are easily employable.
A review of the country's primary and secondary school curricula is already underway and is expected to be completed by 2025. Many educators in the country say they welcome the reforms.
The world is changing. Everything is dynamic, so also we are supposed to keep up with that pace in terms of education. We have to be also dynamic in terms of our education, and that's why you'll find we always have new programs, we always have to review curriculum, we always have to find a way to update and become dynamic.
In a planned policy review, students in the country could go through 10 years of compulsory education instead of the current 7. Other areas that will be looked at include the language of instruction in schools and the content of textbooks.
The University of Dar es Salaam is one of almost 50 higher learning institutions in the country. Through an overhaul of the education sector, the government wants to ensure that the over 10,000 students that graduate here every year and many more across the country are able to make a living from the skills they learnt in school.
Many students in the country feel that the content of their studies is not giving them the skills they need to thrive in the marketplace.
With foreign universities, you're given an opportunity to be hands-on. You study, but it's more practical, unlike in many Tanzanian universities.
We see what we're being taught in the past cannot help a student to employ themselves because you see a lot of young people pouring into the employment market, and when they can't employ themselves, it suggests that there is a challenge in the education system.
To facilitate some of the planned reforms, the government says it has set aside more than $400 million to be used in the next financial year. It hopes that this will give the more than 800,000 students that enter the job market every year a better chance at making a living for themselves. Isaac Lukando, CGTN, Dar es Salaam.